G'day guys, Nate here coming at you with the round 7 preview of Collingwood's clash against Essendon Saturday afternoon at the MCG, 3:20 p.m. start. More importantly, this is the 31st ANZAC Day clash between Collingwood and Essendon. For this ANZAC Day preview video, before I get into the actual footy coverage of this game, I'm going to discuss for a few minutes ANZAC Day, what it means for us, for you, for me, for every Australian. For ANZAC Day, we are over 100 years removed from World War One, and I think it remains important that we continue to remember the fallen and understand the meaning of ANZAC Day. So in 1915, the Australian and New Zealand soldiers, more commonly known now as the ANZACs, the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, they formed the expedition to set out to capture the Gallipoli Peninsula in order to open the Dardanelles to the Allied navies. The ultimate goal here was to capture Constantinople, more commonly known as Istanbul today. Constantinople was the capital of the Ottoman Empire during World War One. The Ottoman Empire was an ally to Germany, and on April 25th, 1915, 16,000 Australian and New Zealand forces landed on the Gallipoli Peninsula and were met with fierce resistance from the Ottoman Empire. The landing started 8 months into World War One, and this campaign lasted 8 months towards the end of 1915. And at the end of 1915, the Allied forces were evacuated from the peninsula. 8,000 Australian soldiers had died during this campaign and had a profound impact on Australians at home. And so April 25th soon became a day of remembrance in which Australians would be remembered for the sacrifices of those who died in the war. Although the campaign in Gallipoli was seen as a failure in regards to its military objective, the actions of the Australian and New Zealand forces during this campaign created what was known at the time as the ANZAC legend, which became an important part of the identity of the Australian and New Zealand soldiers, aka the ANZAC spirit, which embodies courage, mateship, endurance, and larrikinism. The ANZAC legend has evolved over the years, but is something that is more inclusive for the past. The first ANZAC Day commemorations were held April 25th, 1916. This day marked a wide variety of ceremonies, marches, and services around Australia. And for the remaining years of World War One, April 25th, or ANZAC Day, was used as a day for patriotic rallies and recruiting campaigns. During the 1920s, ANZAC Day became more of an established day of commemoration, as over 60,000 Australians had died in World War One. In 1927, every state observed some form of public holiday for ANZAC Day, and April 25th, by the mid-1930s, all rituals we now associate with for ANZAC Day, dawn services, vigils, marches, memorial services and reunions were firmly established and still are established to this day for ANZAC Day. And so as I bring footy into the discussion regarding ANZAC Day, the idea for an established game of footy on ANZAC Day had been in the works for over 30 years, from the early 1960s through to 1994. There had been footy games played on ANZAC Day during that time, but nothing established like Collingwood and Essendon that we know today, which had other clubs involved at the time. Again, nothing established like we know now for Collingwood v Essendon. But as of 2026, we get to see Collingwood v Essendon for the 31st time played on ANZAC Day, April 25th. We also get to see Richmond v Melbourne, April 24th. And with ANZAC Day in 2026 falling on a Saturday, no public holiday in Victoria, but we get to see other games of footy. There's Hawthorn v Gold Coast, there's Port Adelaide v Geelong, there's also Fremantle v Carlton. But ANZAC Day is a day of national remembrance. It's a day to commemorate, a day to be grateful to be an Australian, grateful to be alive, grateful to be able to watch Collingwood v Essendon. And it's also important to just remember what ANZAC Day truly means. I know there's a game of footy, but it's a lot more important than just footy. It's Collingwood v Essendon for the 31st time. There was no ANZAC Day clash in 2020 due to COVID. 18 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws is the ANZAC Day head-to-head between Collingwood and Essendon. Unbeaten in the last 4 ANZAC Day clashes, 2022, 2023, both wins, a draw, 2024, and winning in 2025 by 41 points. I'll just get into the recent history as well. The overall head-to-head, Collingwood leads the overall head-to-head, 137 wins, 107 losses and 5 draws. We lead the ANZAC Day head-to-head, 18 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws. A fun fact as well regarding ANZAC Day for Collingwood. Of Collingwood's 15 ANZAC Day medalists, 9 of them have gone on to play for other clubs for the remainder of their careers. and I've got these down as well, not on screen, but Saverio Rocker, two-time Anzac Day medalist, went off to play for North Melbourne. Scott Russell ended up playing for Sydney. Damien Monkhorst played for St Kilda. Chris Tarrant went to Freo, came back to Collingwood, thankfully. Mark McGough ended up playing for St Kilda. Heath Shaw played for GWS. Paul Seedsman won the Anzac Day medal 2015, traded to Adelaide 2016. Treloar went off to the Bulldogs, and Jack Ginnivan went off to Hawthorn. Ben Johnson, Dane Swan being a two-time Anzac Day medalist, ended his career at Collingwood, or one club player, that is, Ben Johnson, Dane Swan. You've got current players in Scott Pendlebury, Steele Sidebottom, and Nick Dacos. Pendlebury, a three-time Anzac Day medalist. Sidebottom, a two-time Anzac Day medalist and won the medal last year, and Nick Dacos. You've also got Paul Medhurst, who came from Freo, won the Anzac Day medal in 2008. But yeah, 15 Anzac Day medalists, and 9 of them have gone on to play for other clubs. Just an interesting fact. And the last time we played Essendon Anzac Day, or last time we played them overall, we beat Essendon by 41 points, 16-11-107 to 10-6-66. Jamie Elliott kicking 5 goals. Nick Dacos was his first game as captain, I believe, with Darcy Moore out. And Steele Sidebottom winning the Anzac Day medal, second time, 9 years apart. But it is unlucky for us. We take on Essendon when they're mostly fit and firing before the injuries kicked in. And we don't face Essendon twice in a season. We didn't face them twice in a season in 2016 when they had their Asada suspension. We beat Essendon comprehensively in 2016 and at the time as well. And it's similar to this feeling here in 2026 was, and maybe not so much now compared to a few weeks ago, was I didn't want to be the team to lose to Essendon. Essendon had that losing streak. They snapped it in gather round against Melbourne, and they were very competitive against Gold Coast. They are, I wouldn't say efficient, but they know their limitations and they are aware of their weaknesses. They are improving on that. They are working on that. They don't have a major strength, but when that emerges with their current list, their young lists at the moment, once that strength comes through for Essendon, they're going to be a fascinating watch and a team tough to deal with. That's typically a Brad Scott team, to be honest. They don't have a major strength, but when that emerges through, look out. But I reckon 3 weeks ago, this was a straightforward win for Collingwood. But then we had that 54-point loss to Brisbane. We lose to Freo in gather round, and we scrape by Carlton. Essendon, they've just beaten Melbourne by 45 points in gather round. Finally, a win for them. And they took it to Gold Coast up there. So this is as even as it's going to get for us. This, for me, and I said this a few weeks ago regarding these games against Carlton and Essendon, we stand here with the current ladder and the current context with very little to gain, but a lot to lose. We win this game, it's 4-3, yes, and we are in wildcard purgatory, but with the fixture afterwards, Hawthorn with a 5-day break, Geelong, and then Sydney at the SCG. That's a tough 3-week stretch for us. So we've got to bank the wins. We've got to cement ourselves, push on, establish something before we push on in 2026. We don't want to be 3-4 outside wildcard purgatory and then a tough 3-game stretch where we could all of a sudden be in the bottom 4 or be miles off the top 10. So this now becomes an important part of our season. It's a big game, Anzac Day. We know Essendon's going to rise to the occasion. We know we will step up to the occasion as well. It's just a matter of can we respect Essendon and can we deal with Essendon straight away? I do expect them to come out swinging. So for us, we need to hold them off fairly early. I'd like to see us dominate and just, it's not going to happen, obviously, dominate and win, but I'd like to have this game in control, under wraps fairly early by halftime, and then kick on after halftime. I don't want this to be a scrap. I don't want this to be a close one. I obviously don't want us to lose this game, but Essendon, we do pack a punch right now, so got to be able to weather that. We are an aging list, yes, and Essendon are a young, youthful, and buoyed side recently. Youngsters coming through, they've got excitement, they've got dare, they've got flash, they've got flair, they've got everything, and an experienced midfield as well. So for us, need to be able to hold them at bay for this game. And just with the compare the pair, the stats against Essendon here, it looks like a side that we can get on top of in the midfield, in the ruck as well. Blackiston and Peter Wright in the ruck. Surely Darcy Cameron and Oscar Steen can dominate in the ruck. Clearances are even, slightly ahead to Essendon. Essendon better in the setter clearances. We're better around the stoppages. Hopefully we can dominate in the centre clearances and the stoppages. We do lead the marks and tackles compared to Essendon. The inside 50s we're on top of, but Essendon are much more efficient inside 50, so they don't waste it heading forward. And they've got a decent forward line as well to capitalise on this. But we have a decent back line, so that's going to be a big key, not key to victory, but a big point of difference, I reckon. Who's going to blink? Essendon's forward line or our back line. But again, it's our efficiency inside 50 that needs to lift. It wasn't there against Carlton, but it was somehow there in the final quarter. And that's the thing as well. The final quarter against Carlton, we need to push on from that final quarter against Carlton. Not move on, but use that as the catalyst, the rocket fuel to get us up the ladder and to dominate games against teams like Essendon. And when I say teams like Essendon, I mean a bottom four side we need to put away. If we are seriously going to contend for wildcard round and try and push on into top six, we need to be putting teams like Essendon away. Even if it's a close win, yeah, it's nice to bank the wins, but it doesn't look good. We don't win friends when we take on teams like Hawthorn, Geelong, and Sydney, having just scraped by Carlton and Essendon, and obviously losing that final quarter against Freo. Yeah, it's not a good look. So we need something to build off. Nick Dacos in the midfield, yes, he'll get attention. But this is where guys like Bo McCreary and if Jordan De Goey's returning, guys like De Goey, Angus Anderson when he's in the midfield at times, Ned Long in the midfield as well. We need that flash, that we need that pace in the midfield. We need that consistency in the midfield. So yeah, if Oscar Steen's dominating the ruck, I don't want to see him taken out of the ruck for Darcy Cameron. I want to see them rotating between ruck and the forward line. Provide some headaches for Essendon's backline. We are capable of doing it. We just haven't shown that this year. So for us, yes, the efficiency inside 50, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but we need to make Essendon pay in the back line or their back line and up forward for us. But I did touch on Jordan De Goey a minute ago in regards to my selection speculation and just an update on our injury list. I posted on Instagram Noah Howes was suspended in the VFL. That's been cleared. Noah Howes is available now, so wiping him off the injury list. It's Sidebottom, De Goey, Darcy Moore all being assessed, and Demartia finally has a timeline on his return, 1 to 2 weeks away. And we'll find out more about Bobby Hill on a possible return to footy this week. There's a main training session on Thursday. I am recording this on my lunch break on a Wednesday, so if there's any updates between now and the upload of this video and anything few and far between, uh, you'll know of the update, so don't bash me in the comments for that, but everything's a watch this space. But regarding selection speculation, if De Goey, Sidebottom, Darcy Moore are fit and available for this, then the outs will be tough. Ed Allen, Will Hayes, they were solid. They were decent against Carlton. Roan Steele, Ned Long could be on the chopping block for the selection speculation, but we'll find out on Thursday, and I'll have the team selections final word video up regarding our selections and lineups. Yeah, 3 possible inclusions. I don't think there'll be any other forced or any other omissions besides who goes in for De Goey or who goes out for De Goey, Sidebottom, and Darcy Moore if they're all available. I don't think they'll all be available. I think we need to manage this. Yes, it's Anzac Day, but we need to also look ahead towards Hawthorn. Yes, respect Essendon, but we're facing Hawthorn on a Thursday night next week. So something to think about. Pendlebury, will he be managed? Will we manage other players as well, like a Jeremy Howe? Again, that's all to watch this space. So it'll be very interesting what our team looks like for Anzac Day. Just with the keys of victory, last week I had for the keys of victory, find targets inside 50 and make it count. Didn't happen, but it did occur in the final quarter. Don't let Carlton's midfielders get on top of us, which was the case for us. We got ahead of Carlton's midfielders in the final quarter and also for the entire game. We were accountable, we were responsible, and we owned the moment in the final quarter. And yeah, in the final quarter, we got our brand back. So hopefully it all works out again for Essendon, but I've got an updated keys to victory for the Essendon game. First key to victory, try and exploit Essendon in the midfield. They've got Merritt, Caldwell, Parrish, Elijah Sadis, McGrath and Roberts can go through the midfield at times. So Essendon's midfield, we can get on top of. And I don't want to disrespect them, but surely with Nick Dacos and co in the midfield, Oscar Steen in the ruck against Blackiston and Peter Wright, surely, and Darcy Cameron as well, surely we're able to get ahead of Essendon's midfield here. The second key to victory is to try and exploit Essendon's backline. It's the third worst in the competition for points against. And with Jackson Pryor, Ben Mackay down back, yeah, Archie Roberts and McGrath, they're very good across half back, but they're key defenders. We can exploit them on, and we need to be direct inside 50. make them pay on quick transition as well. Don't let them make us pay on quick transition. We need to do it to them. The third key to victory is for our back line to stand up and nullify Essendon's forward line. Nate Caddy, Archer May, Peter Wright, Kyle Langford, Isaac Kako, Tom Edwards, if he's going to be used down forward. And if Liam McMahon is called up for this game, that's someone to look out for, former Collingwood player. But I do feel confident our current back line holds up well against Essendon's forward line. But if you had to guess, or if you had to predict which team would win this game by 5+ goals, it would likely be Essendon. And that's if they get on or off the leash with their youngsters and their forward line. But I feel confident our back line will hold up. They'll be disciplined. They'll be professional. And the final key to victory, ironically about the efficiency inside 50, is for Collingwood. Please be efficient inside 50 for once. Please and thank you. And I'm putting out the challenge. Key metrics, stats, 55% or more heading inside 50 and obviously making them pay on the scoreboard. I don't want to see us be 55% or more inside 50 for efficiency and then we spray it left, right, and centre. I want to see us be efficient inside 50 inside 50s for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, or 20 goals is what I'm looking for here. A score above 100, absolutely, would be great. But we just want to win this game, look good in doing so, get some percentage back, and then push on. But if we lose this game, then yeah, we're in a bit of strife. Maybe not a lookout stage, but in a bit of strife. That's all for this video. I'll leave you guys all to it. Hoping you guys have had a good week so far. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the Pies.